Welcome back to another video I have for you guys here today on Madden 20. Today I'm doing something a bit differently. I'm answering the question, what will the NFL look like in 10 years? According to Madden. Because today I will be simulating 10 years into the future and looking at the stats, the accolades, the awards for some of these players, see who won some of the Super Bowls, and just check out what the NFL is looking like 10 years into the future. I'll just be starting out here on the Eagles because they're my favorite football team. It really doesn't matter who I start out as though. I will just be simulating everything. Like, I'm not going to do anything myself. The computer will handle it all. But if you guys end up enjoying this video, I would definitely appreciate it if you could hit that like button down below. It helps me out so much in the end. And also, if you are new around here, and especially if you enjoy the video, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to have you guys back for my next upload. There's really nothing to do, so let's just simulate 10 years into the future. And I will see you guys in about a year in real time. So we are back, and I could retire the coach. I don't want to do that. The league got real messed up. Okay, hold on a second. Let me change the coach and go back to the Eagles. All right, let me actually retire Doug Peterson. Wait, can I look at anything before I do that? Like, can I check out his legacy, like, score right now really quickly? I don't even know if I can. Okay, so there we go. Doug Peterson is number 7 for the legacy leaderboard. Adam Gase is number 6. All right, hold on. I'll get more into that in a second. I just was worried that maybe if I retired him, that would I wouldn't be able to see that anymore. But let's go ahead, retire Doug Peterson. Let's create a new character. I'm gonna go back to the Eagles though, if they're even still the Eagles, and they are. Okay, so Griffin Murphy is the coach here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Who is on this team? Oh, this team is looking awful. 75 overall, 76 offense, 75 defense. Who do we have on the roster? Okay, so I see one real player still, Orlando Brown Jr. is 33 years old, starting at right tackle. We have a pretty cool looking wide receiver, Robert Cathouse, or Cathouse, something like that. He only has 1 year of experience, dude. This dude's sick. Okay, 6'3", 94 speed. That guy's actually sweet. We have a backup quarterback with superstar development, 1 year of experience for that guy. We also have Shepard here, 5 years of experience. Definitely looks like a player we have to move on from. I'm not going to really simulate anymore, but I'm just saying this if I were to, rebuild this team. Melvin Briggs, is very young as well. Pretty young team, it looks like, on offense. Nobody in the 80s, though, except for that receiver, I guess. Everybody else looks pretty bad. Do we have, like, a stud anywhere on this team? I mean, we do have a Fletcher Cox replacement, so that's cool. We also switched to a 3-4, apparently. And by Fletcher Cox replacement, I just mean this dude's an X-Factor. He's nowhere near his ability. Only an 84 overall, but still a very good-looking player. We have a sweet-looking cornerback, though. Jackie Faulkner. This guy looks awesome. Horrible zone coverage, just a man-to-man corner this entire time. But there's so many massive holes on this defense. We have Desmond Atwater, who looks very good, too. So some pretty interesting, building blocks on this team, but man, the Eagles are awful. The computer cannot take over this team. It's not going to go well. I'm going to look around the NFL a little bit. Let's just see who the best team is. And by that, I'm going to see who won the Super Bowl last year. And just look at their roster, see if anybody is still that good. It seems like the Giants won the Super Bowl last year because they do have the last pick in the first round. Or they're projected to have it. They still have Daniel Jones? No way. What were his stats? I'm curious now. Okay, so he had some really good years. He actually had some excellent years. The most picks he threw were 13. That's not even all that bad. That was pretty early in his career as well, but a few seasons, actually only one season over 4,000 yards, but he was actually very good. This year only throwing 3 interceptions. But Saquon was probably the main reason this team was so good. He's actually still on the team. 89 overall still for Saquon Barkley. His stats are unbelievable. He has to be like a first ballot Hall of Famer after this kind of career. My lord. I'm sure he peaked at a 99 overall at some point. Oh, the receivers. Oh my lord. Auden Tate, Zay Jones at the 2 and the 3 being 32 and 34 years old. Oh my, that's awful. Okay, they have a superstar tight end. Everybody's team is just so bad. They have so many right tackles as well. Dexter Lawrence is still here on the team. Jonathan Allen's down to a 69. Like, is anybody good anymore? Robert Sutton looks awesome. He's an X-Factor. Jair Alexander is still very good. Their team is still not good at all. Let me take a look at some of these other teams. Like, are there any 99 overall players left? George Kittle's still kicking at a 93. Nick Bosa's a 92. Fred Warner's still decent. Okay, some interesting looking players there. But these teams are so weak. How did none of these rookies develop? Somebody relocated. This is definitely the Chargers since Joey Bosa's there. I guess that's not guaranteed that it's the Chargers, but I'm just going to assume it's them. They usually relocate anyway. That's another team that relocated. Can I try to figure out who this is? Hunter Renfrow. Okay, so it could be the Raiders. I have no reason to assume otherwise. Titus Howard. Oh, that's maybe the Texans then? Trayvon Mullen's also on this team, so I'm going to go with the Raiders. I'm just going to assume they signed Howard. But this team's also not good. There are so many teams in horrible situations right now. Christian McCaffrey is still a 91. Lamar Jackson is still a 99. Oh my. What did he do? Look at those seasons. Oh my lord. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight seasons throwing for over 4,000 yards and over 30 touchdowns. With one season, 42 touchdowns. Oh my. Yeah, he had a crazy career. He'd be a Hall of Famer 100% as well. Oh my god, the Redskins. Some of these teams look like they'd be pretty fun to rebuild or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'll come back to it, but it's just fun looking around here. DK Metcalf is the best Seahawk player. Kind of curious what his stats are all about. He does very well in simulation usually. Nothing too crazy, actually. I mean, that's a really good season there. Over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, but pretty underwhelming, to be honest. Who's the Seahawks quarterback now that they don't have Russell Wilson? Ryland Schilling. That's Tariq Cohen? No, Tyler Cohen. Okay. That would have been unreal if it was Tariq Cohen. Derwin James made his way to the Texans. Deshaun Watson's still here as well. Okay. Interesting. John Rhodes, 83 overall, the best player on the Titans. Kareem Hunt's their running back. They do have a pretty young quarterback, though, who looks like he could be decent one day. The Bears also have a very weak-looking team. Braden Whitmore, pretty good-looking receiver here for the Bengals. Ed Oliver is the best player on the Bills. All right, we're just looking here. Josh Jacobs on the Broncos. Stays in the division, which is interesting. Myles Garrett still doing his thing. Jamichael Jackson. Jamichael Jackson? That's your name? Denzel Ward is still here. They have a lot of speed at their corner position. All right. Isaac Hansen, the best player on the Buccaneers. This is certainly more interesting than I actually thought it was going to be, to be honest. Shannon French looks like a pretty good safety. Patrick Mahomes is still a 99. Let's check out his stats. Definitely curious about these. How many times did he throw for like 5,000 yards? This is one of the best quarterback careers like ever. That's unreal. Okay, so obviously he had his crazy MVP season in real life. And then over 4,000 yards again. Okay, let's just count how many years in a row he had over 4,000 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then took a 2-year break. And then 2 more in a row. He almost threw for 4,000 yards every single season. He also never threw for under, 32 touchdowns and never threw for more than 12 interceptions. That's unbelievable. One of the best quarterbacks to ever do it then at that point. Quentin Nelson, obviously, is the best player on the Colts. They have a really cool-looking linebacker, though. Leonard Catani, they go from one Leonard to another one. I mean, Darius Leonard's last name is Leonard. But this guy looks like a freak. Insane finesse moves, 92, 87 speed, 86 tackling, 85 pursuit. This is a really cool-looking player. They still do have Darius Leonard on their team as well. Also, I simulated with injuries on just to see if that would really change much. Alvin Kamara is actually on the Colts, which is nice. Zeke is still the best player on the Cowboys. They still have Amari Cooper as well. Do they still have Dak? No, they have Jacoby Brissett, who's still playing, and he's an X Factor. These stats are always fun to look at, too. Jacoby Brissett's unbelievable in simulation. Yeah, look at these seasons. Are you kidding me? Why? Like, why did he play so well? Jacoby Brissett's not a bad quarterback, but I mean, he plays so well in simulation for some reason. Also, Jared Goff, Gardner Minshew on this team. Oh, this is fun. I'm probably missing a ton of players as well, but that's why I'm kind of recording a lot of these, so you guys can see what's going on. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys want to see what your team will look like, exactly what your team will look like in 10 years. Because this is obviously super accurate. But now that we're back to the Eagles, let's go over to the entire NFL and just check out the best players in the league. I only saw 2 99s, and those were the only 2 99s, both quarterbacks. Quentin Nelson's the next highest, and then George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Timmy LaPierre, a pretty good-looking quarterback. I might as well check out his stats. X Factor here for whatever that team was. He had a crazy rookie season. Okay, that's awesome to see. Can I see how many games he played? I can't, but it definitely seems like he got hurt. Yeah, averaging 209 yards per game. If he played all 16 games, he'd have like 3,300 yards. He had a really good career, though. He had 41 touchdowns that one season. That's pretty cool. There are still so many players who are so old up there for overall, which is actually kind of cool to see. A lot of the guys who are good now supposedly will be good in another 10 years. Now, let's go ahead, though, and check out the legacy leaderboards and all that good stuff. See if anybody broke any records or anything like that. So, here we go. Let's check out some stats Who's number 1 on the legacy leaderboard? Anthony Lynn is the next best head coach, who's an active head coach, and then Pat Shurmur has a Super Bowl under his belt. So does Lynn. Dan Quinn down there. We have Blazer, whoever that is. Adam Gase won a Super Bowl. Doug Peterson, of course, has that Super Bowl. Didn't win another one, though. Sean McDermott's down there. These guys don't really have that crazy of a legacy score, so nobody seems to be that insane. But let's check out all, I guess. Tom Brady has the most legacy score. That makes a lot of sense. Ezekiel Elliott's actually super close behind him. He's won 3 Super Bowls, 4 championships, and 24 yearly awards, which is more than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's in the Hall of Fame, though. That's what that little logo back there means. That makes sense. He's obviously going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Myles Garrett did not win a Super Bowl. Von Miller did, also in the Hall of Fame. Aaron Donald did not win a Super Bowl, but in the Hall of Fame. DeMarcus Lawrence in the Hall of Fame, 2 Super Bowls. Khalil Mack, Hall of Famer. Josh Allen, super high up there. Hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, though. Lamar Jackson has a Super Bowl. Cameron Jordan does, also in the Hall of Fame. 3 Super Bowls, though, for Patrick Mahomes. Anybody with, like, some crazy number down here? We got 2 Super Bowls for Big Ben. All right, Justin Tucker gets 2. Travis Frederick gets 2. Dre Flowers also gets 2. That's pretty cool. Russell Wilson has that 1. Adam Vinatieri gets 4. Don't think anything changed from that one. Dak Prescott gets 2. He's actually on the Bears. All right, still in the NFL. Chidobe Awuzie gets 3. All right, that's pretty cool looking. Let's see if anybody broke any records. Tom Brady finished at number 2 in passing yards, right behind Drew Brees. Passing touchdowns, Tom Brady wins it over Drew Brees. Andrew Luck is on the Lions. He continued his career. That's fine. He's up there in this list, too. That's fun. Rushing yards, Ezekiel Elliott finishes with the most rushing yards in NFL history. He actually beat out former Cowboy Emmitt Smith. That's cool. Frank Gore at number 4. Saquon also on this list. So it says L. Tomlinson, so LaDainian Tomlinson as the Nighthawks, which is just funny because the Chargers aren't a team anymore. Ezekiel Elliott actually ties Emmitt Smith. That's really cool. Josh Jacobs. Okay, didn't expect to see him up there. Todd Gurley is also at the bottom of that list. That's cool. Saquon Barkley up there. Receiving yards, Jerry Rice. But we have Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald up there. Nobody else who's active, I don't think. Receiving touchdowns, Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald, and again, another Nighthawk. Julio Jones down there as well. Catches, Larry Fitzgerald at number 2. That's pretty cool. Julio Jones. Michael Thomas finishes with a ton of catches. We also have the Orbits down there, which means that was the Raiders. Okay. Defensive sacks. Anybody new? Von Miller at number 3. Myles Garrett at number 4 there. Aaron Donald's in this list. Okay. Defensive interceptions. I don't think there's anybody new in that list, and we're back here again. Let's check out season awards. Anybody throw for more passing yards? I don't think so in this span of time. So, of course, we have Patrick Mahomes doing what he did in 2018. Also, Big Ben that year. Passing touchdowns. Anybody beat this? Patrick Mahomes threw for 44 in 2021. Rushing yards. I'm sure this got almost beaten a couple times. Ezekiel Elliott running for 1982 in 2027. Getting pretty close, but nobody rushed for over 2,000 yards after we started simulating. Rushing touchdowns. This usually gets pretty close, but nobody gets up there. Receiving yards, potentially. No, nobody getting in this list for receiving yards. Receiving touchdowns. Amari Cooper gets 18 in 2022. Most catches in a season. Obviously, this was beaten in real life, but nobody here in simulation got close. Defensive sacks. Yeah, Myles Garrett gets 22 in 2026, tying with all those other guys there. No half sacks, though, in this, so that's fine. Defensive interceptions. This never gets touched at all. Passing yards, we were already here. Okay, so in a game, might as well go over this stuff. Anybody beat any of these? Passing touchdowns in a game. Nobody got close. Rushing yards in a game. This could be something. Nope. Rushing touchdowns in a game? I don't think so. Let's just go until I find one, I guess. Khalil Mack logged 6 sacks in a game in 2021. That's the first one I saw so far. Interceptions in a game, I doubt this is here either. And then we're back to pass yards. All right. So that is what the NFL looks like 10 years into the future. I don't really think there's much more I can do, but if you guys think of anything else you'd want me to look at in this franchise, I can come back to this one. Or if you'd like me to like rebuild one of these teams or something, that could be interesting. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I thought it'd be a pretty fun idea just to go around looking at the team. Obviously, not a super unique idea. I've seen other people do this. I've even done this in the past, like 3 years ago, but I wanted to do it again because I actually haven't seen anybody do it too recently. I've seen some people do similar things like early on in Madden 20, but I figured why not do it now. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.